Amazon continues to explode in growth. Name any sector, they just keep getting bigger and bigger. Despite their controversy, they've previously been named World's Best Employer, Top Company, Most Trusted Brand. Maybe not anymore, but the list goes on. Let's be real, they've created a lot of haters along the way, as they grow and as Jeffy B has his hands in more industries. Today, we're focusing not on Amazon's first, but its second headquarters, which is being built in Northern Virginia. Why was this a strategic location? And how is Amazon slowly taking over Virginia? Well, let's talk about the story behind HQ2. First, the location. Because Northern Virginia might seem random, but it's actually a prime location for Amazon. See what I did there? For context, Amazon's original headquarters is in Seattle, Washington. HQ2 is being built as a sister HQ in National Landing, which is sort of a neighborhood of Arlington, Virginia. But it didn't really exist before Amazon entered. It's this relatively undeveloped area between downtown Arlington and Alexandria. So it's essentially becoming a new neighborhood as Amazon comes in to develop it. It's funny, they're trying to make the name sound fun, hip, and trendy by calling the neighborhood National Landing NALA. They're trying to make that a thing. Amazon originally announced the new headquarters back in 2018, and they designed it like a fake competition for different cities to bid on. After proposals from cities around North America were submitted to explain why each city is the best choice for Amazon, Amazon made the decision. They were offered tax breaks by dozens of cities in the US, Canada, and Mexico. And Amazon made their choice, Virginia. Initially, they decided to split the new headquarters between Arlington, Virginia, and Long Island City, just outside Manhattan. This decision to split the headquarters was scrapped a year later after receiving strong opposition, so Long Island City was knocked off the list. Critics stated that this proposed project in New York City was an example of corporate welfare and would aggravate New York City's affordability crisis with its already sky-high rents and the existing congested environment of the city. So here we are with Amazon's HQ2, Northern Virginia. Some people have theories that Amazon wanted Arlington, Virginia all along, and the competition was just a publicity stunt. But that's a whole different story. Now, Arlington was also very strategic in winning Amazon's business because they knew they couldn't compete with the major cities like New York, Chicago, LA, and so on with the amount of money they could offer Amazon. So they did something different. Arlington County basically created the vision for a new neighborhood completely customized and shaped around Amazon's needs as a company. A blank slate, if you will, ready for Amazon to build on. Plus, Northern Virginia is already a hub for data center infrastructure, with over 250 data centers for Amazon Web Services, Google, Microsoft, and Meta already existing in the area. So Northern Virginia already has a huge grid of data centers and subsequently a large population of engineers who live in the same area. That is something not every city can offer, especially since the data center industry is exploding. The need for more servers is not going anywhere but up. That being said, Amazon acknowledged the need to rapidly streamline Amazon Web Services, or AWS. Not just because of the need for more servers. CNBC actually reports that customers are dropping AWS due to economic fears and mounting investment losses. Around $36 trillion in stocks and bonds up in smoke. More than the combined GDP of the three biggest economies, the United States, China, and Japan. Now, investors can expect returns from stocks to be a whopping 0% next year, according to Bank of America. But Bank of America also reports investors are still spending billions competing in certain markets, ones for high-value physical assets, like fine art. I know, I'm no fine art expert, but don't take it from me. Bank of America says art remains an attractive inflation hedge and can be an important part of a diversified portfolio, especially in 2023. If we look at the data, UBS reports import and export is hitting record levels by end of year, with experts saying demand is extremely resilient. No wonder Masterworks has handed back over 13% returns 2 separate times just since my last video on them. See, Masterworks files multi-million-dollar paintings with the SEC, splitting them into shares. This isn't crypto or NFTs, and all of Masterworks filings are linked in the description. Now, Masterworks has sold 4 paintings just since our last video. That brings them to 9 total exits last year, with the last 3 handing back 10, 13, and 35% net returns to investors. With over 600,000 users, Masterworks paintings have sold out in minutes, but you can get priority access by clicking the link in the description. The location in Northern Virginia was pretty strategic for Amazon too. I mean, they're right across the river from downtown DC. They're basically next-door neighbors to the political capital of the Western Hemisphere. And they're down the street from the Pentagon. That's fun, right? They were intentional about being close to top government agencies. HQ2 is also right in between Arlington and Alexandria, which are 2 large cities in Northern Virginia, but typically viewed as separate. Amazon's development at National Landing will bridge them together and create an interconnected urban innovation hub. Long story short, HQ2 will bring a $2.5 billion investment into Arlington to create more than 25,000 jobs. So far, they've already brought over 5,000 jobs. They're stimulating the construction industry, hotels, restaurants, office space, and of course contributing to more tax revenue for the wealthy county. And there are certain standards for job growth and economic growth that Amazon has to meet in order to get the tax benefits from Arlington. Plus, they have a huge emphasis on outdoor recreation space, education, and transportation infrastructure. There has been criticism on how these benefits were set up, but the way they were designed has actually worked out somewhat in Arlington's favor since COVID. So let's talk about the design of the headquarters. 2 phases. Phase 1 will complete in 2023. The whole thing will have various office buildings, parks, educational space, fulfillment centers, and shops. The first place is Metropolitan Park, Met Park, opening mid-2023. And the second phase is Penn Place, conveniently right across the street. And here's something pretty cool. The centerpiece of HQ2 is a helix-shaped tower standing 350 feet in the air called the Helix. Creative. The center tower will be basically a spiraled vertical forest with outdoor walkways, green space, and this giant glass structure with office space inside. The Helix is supposed to serve as an alternative workspace for the Amazon employees up in Seattle. I mean, this new building matches the exact same aesthetic. Now, if you haven't seen the original HQ in Seattle, it's basically a bunch of high-tech sphere domes. The Helix, basically just a tall, spiral, seashell-looking thing. Amazon loves building weird shapes, apparently. My man Jeff and his shapes, right? It's funny, when I was 17, being the sassy little go-getter that I am, I thought I would be really cool and start selling on Amazon FBA. And don't get me wrong, I learned a lot from the experience about running a business, and it was a very valuable lesson. But I did not make money from it. I lost money. My man Jeff makes this look way too easy, I'll be honest. Back to the point. Amazon is aiming for LEED Platinum certification, energy efficient construction, and overall sustainability. and they will have a shitload of electric vehicle charging stations, solar panels everywhere, bird-safe glass, according to Amazon's April 2022 progress update. And I mean, what if every store that opens up here will be some kind of Amazon store? Like, this is Jeffy B's mini city and everyone is just living in it, right? Okay, now what are people saying? It's Amazon. Not everyone is a fan. Housing prices will go up, taxes will go up, this will hurt lower income families, and who knows how the whole social and cultural scene will change in the area when a bunch of people start moving to it. It's a complicated issue, and there's lots of money involved that will impact a lot of people. Good or bad, we'll have to see. When finished, it'll include an amphitheater for outdoor concerts, a couple of farmers markets, a Whole Foods, naturally, plus restaurants, childcare centers, and a huge outdoor space, public greenery, all sorts of stuff. They're aiming to create more transportation and infrastructure to go along with this, to connect to the metro, the airport, and promote walkability for the people who live here. Really a live, work, play, travel kind of community. But this depends on Amazon fulfilling its promises of creating this visionary city like they talk about. So you might be wondering, where is HQ2 in its current development? Phenomenal question. Amazon broke ground on their new headquarters in 2021. And since the development of HQ2 is split in 2 phases, the first one will be completed by mid-2023. The second phase, which will be focused on Penn Place and the Helix, my favorite part, should likely be completed by 2026. All of this sounds amazing. Getting to work on this project was not easy. I mean, it looks promising given that it is Amazon after all. I mean, the Helix, I'm not surprised. But what do you think the long-term effects will be? Let us know in the comments. And for more interesting content on big development projects like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel, sign up for our email list if you want, that'll be in the description, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.